What's up, guys? Antoine Webb here with Culture Matters. Standing with us today is Gavin Frater of Signature Realty, New Jersey, out of Springfield. Welcome, Gavin.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, so Gavin, today I have a question for you. I found my home. We put in the offer. So the offer's in. Now what?
Sit back and have a cup of coffee. No. But this is where all the hidden stuff that agents do really comes to the fore. Your agent is taking you around. You've probably seen 15, 20, if you're really picky, 30 or 40 houses, and you've settled on the one you want. So now the agent writes up the offer. They're either going to email it to you to be electronically signed, or they're going to come back to you and have you physically sign it. That's your work done. You don't have to worry about anything else until you get the response from the agent. Look, you've got your house. That's when it starts. You have to have a real estate attorney. Find someone who dedicates themselves to real estate. You might have Jim, who's your dad's golfing buddy, who's a divorce lawyer, but said for a discount he'll sort you out. Don't use Jim. Jim's a good divorce attorney, I'm sure, but you want somebody who knows the ins and outs of real estate. So find somebody who has a good reputation. A lot of agents like myself will have a number of attorneys that we've worked with to good effect in the past. Generally, an agent is a really good person to speak to. Now, I will say, whenever you take a referral, generally I will give a number of referrals so that the decision on who you use and who you go with is ultimately yours. So your attorney will then get you in and out of attorney review as quickly as you can, and then you're under contract. Now, whilst you're under contract, your agent is going to be answering questions between the sales agent and the buyer's agent. They're going to have attorney questions, and we're doing all this behind the scenes while you're now worrying about what color drapes to put in the living room and does the granite really go with the backsplash. From that point on, we get really busy. We have to schedule, as a buyer's agent, I'm scheduling the appraisal, we're scheduling the inspection. An inspection is the tricky one. Find a good inspector, do your research. If you find a guy who's $200 versus a guy who's $400 for the same house, I would go with the $400 guy. There's probably a reason why he's charging more. You want to make sure on the biggest investment that you're ever going to make in your home, that you're not having a home that has dry rot or termite infestation or has a water issue underneath. You want to make sure the guy you have or the woman you have doing your inspection is thorough. And again, as real estate agents, we tend to know who the good inspectors are versus the bad inspectors. We may make recommendations, but again, I can't emphasize this enough. The ultimate decision on who you use is yours. So that's the one thing I would always say. Once inspection's done, if we're good, that's it. Well, we hold off until appraisal, and then we'll help the appraiser with their research, and then that's it. If it's not a good inspection, and this happens more often than not, you may have an elevated radon level. Well, in that case, then we now have to speak with a radon professional and find out what the issue is. You may have termites or wood-boring insect damage. Again, we have to find a professional to come in and do that, and that takes time. You can stay at work, you can do what you need to do. Your buyer's agent will let those professionals in and get you to your close. Then there's the mortgage commitment. Most real estate agents will work closely with the mortgage professionals. It might just be a case of just prodding you a little bit just to get the documents in they need, to make sure that you don't go out and buy a car on your credit card 2 weeks after you're under contract. We try and guide you as best we can whilst fighting fires, and I think the best way to look at it is if you see a swan gliding, the client buying the house is the top of the swan, and those furious legs paddling beneath it, that's your real estate agent behind you. Then we have the last time, you're closing. We've got to make sure that we're clear to close. We've got to make sure that the home has passed its certificate of occupancy. We've got the clear to close from the mortgage company. The attorney scheduling on both the buyer's and the seller's schedule is mixed. And then we have your title company as well. So once we've got all those guys together, we have the date. Quite often we want to come to the closing with you to congratulate you on closing on your house. Again, it's your biggest purchase you're ever likely to make. But on the other side of things, we want to make sure that there's nothing needs to be done. So last day, normally if you have an afternoon closing, it's done that morning. If it's a morning closing, generally be the afternoon before you do the final walkthrough. You make sure whoever's selling you the house hasn't smashed the walls up as they've taken their grand piano out of the basement. We make sure that they haven't taken light fixtures that were supposed to stay behind, They haven't switched out the fridge. They might have a beautiful, oversized, deep, chilling fridge in there when you buy the house or when you put your offer in, and then you get there the next day and they've got this grotty little white thing that they picked up at a charity store. So we make sure that what you're buying in the listing and what the contract says you're buying is what you are getting. Then we get you to close, and then it's plain sailing. You can take care of your moving. We don't want to help you with that, but we'll get you there.
So we're gonna take you from 0 all the way up to the moving truck, and then you're gonna take off from there. So, Gavin, I think that's a lot of great value that you gave there. So I think that the overall basis here is, guys, real estate agents, obviously, like your analogy, I loved it with the swan, gliding on top of the lake, that agent is those feet churning under the water. So you need to make sure that your agent has a solidified network of professionals behind them to make sure that all of your T's are crossed and I's are dotted, because at the end of the day, what's in the contract is what you need to get. So, Gavin, where can we find you?
You can find me at Signature Realty in Springfield. Email me if you need to get in touch with me, gavin@signaturerealtynj.com. You can find me as the Ginger Realtor on Twitter and on Instagram. And Gavin Frater, just search that name on Facebook, you can't miss me.
Guys, I hope you got some great value. Check us out, www.culturemattersuniversity.com. Catch you on the next one.